Hello and welcome to a demo of Lispy, a V-like per edit. This is a minor mode for Emacs for editing Lisp code. So it works for any Lisp dialect, for instance eLisp, Closure, Common Lisp, Scheme, or anything else that has a parent structure. So what kind of things this package can do is that it uses a special key binding method in such a way that the normal keys, such as A, B, C, call commands when the point is before an open parent. So let me show you, like this. So if I press C, it will clone the current S expression. So let's just undo that. So you see that U letter calls undo. So if I'm not before an open parent, so this will just self-insert. So this is why I call it V-like, because there's two modes, a command mode and an insert mode, but you switch between them just moving the cursor. And the second case in which the command is called is when I'm after a parent. So as you see here, I have a show parent mode on just to show me the bounds of the current parents, and you will see that the command behaves differently depending on which side of the list I'm on. So if I call C from here, the cursor will stay where it is, and if I call C from here, the cursor will move. Okay, and then also this happens when region is active. So let's do this the old-fashioned way, just Control space and Alt F. Yeah. So C, C, C. Okay, undo. And then let's use some specialized shortcut. Alt M marks a symbol. So then C, C, and then so it works from either side of the region. Let's just undo this, guys. Okay. So let's cover the basic navigation. So if you're familiar with V or Vim, the H, J, K, L keys on the home row act as arrows. So let's see what J does. So J will move down. Okay, maybe just J will move down like this. K moves up. What does H do? So H moves outwards to the left. So like this. And L moves outward to the right, like this. So if I'm here and I want to move up, I do L. So this also works if the region is active. So for instance, let me mark this, and then I press L, 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 L. Okay, nice. And if I want to narrow the region, okay, let's see what J does when the region is active. J, 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 K, J, K. Let's try to grow the region. So you do this with the greater sign and shrink it with the lesser sign. Okay, let's grow it from downwards. Switch to the different side with D and grow it again. And then let's shrink it. Let's turn to the other side, shrink. Okay. Let's select just the first symbol of the expression. This is done with I. So if you have nothing marked, MI will just mark the first thing. And then you can just go through the expression. You can even go inside the string. So if I wanted to replace this, backspace, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Which commands have I covered? Okay, H, J, K, L are covered. Okay, D is covered as well because it just switches to the different side of the list or the region. F, so what does F do? F looks for the parent in the current direction. So if I'm on open parent, it looks for the next open parent, like this. If I'm on a closed parent, it looks for the next closed parent. So you can think of it as like the opposite of L, or the opposite of H is F. It's just a simple regex search in the current direction, so it's not that smart, but it will not enter the strings or anything like that. It will not enter comments. And then view. So view is just a shortcut for Control L, but it does something smarter. So let's go to like lispy down, and so it's a big function, and I want to see it full, and I say v. Okay. So this moves, centers it on the screen in such a way. Maybe just decrease the font a bit. So if I go to lispy up and I want to view it on the full screen, I do V. And pressing it again will just switch it back, the view, to the way it was before. Okay, so let's look at the global bindings. So the global bindings will work anytime, doesn't matter where the point is. So let's try lispy backward. So it's the closing bracket. So it just does the same function as previous list. So Control Alt P. Control Alt P. No, doesn't do it. Yeah. So basically that's why I wrote it. The lispy, because the defaults, while they're nice, Control Alt P say it works. Control Alt P, Control Alt N, but in this situation it doesn't work. So it's kind of frustrating. But this command will work always. And forward, yeah, backward and forward. Also, there's this command which exits the list. This one is really useful. I use it in many different modes, not just Lisp. So usually you just write a function and you fill in the arguments, and then you want to quickly exit it. So this is quite useful. Then mark and then exit, unmark, whatever. Okay, what else is here? Okay, so lispy kill is the intelligent control case. So what it does here, see, it doesn't delete the parent. What it does here, it doesn't delete the end of the string. So the syntax of the Lisp remains intact. So if I just disable lispy mode, see, now it's a mess. You cannot evaluate this code. Okay, turn it back on. So also lispy yank. I think it does the same thing as yank. The only difference is, okay, yank, yeah. So if I cut it and then quote and yank, it will quote the quotes inside, making the syntax still looking good. So let's just unquote this. So I hope you understood. These kind of quotes will be quoted again when I insert into a list. So that's all it does. Lispy delete. Okay, Control D. So it's just a delete char, but if I'm here, it will delete the whole expression. And if I'm here, it will delete the string. Let's just try to type it a few times to see how it works. Yeah. So as you see, the lispy tries to keep the point in the special position, so you can just keep going, keep typing stuff. So if you were at the position where you are before the parent, you'll just keep doing this kind of things. So what else can we have here? Lispy out forward, I covered that. There's also an extension to multiple cursors. I don't know how useful it is. It may be useful in some case. Okay, so just revert this. Aha, comment. Comment is quite nice command. So I just type in semicolon and it comments the current expression. Comment, comment, comment. Okay, undo, 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 undo with you. And comment. Then if I navigate here and I call it with the prefix command, it will uncomment. Whoops. Control U and semicolon. Yep. See, it's uncommented now. Okay, what else do we have here? Mark symbol, Alt M. This will just mark the current symbol. This is useful if I want to say, do some stuff. Like, see what this is, and let's see, lispy left, this is a variable. So if so if this was unselected, then I commented. So now I can evolve, for instance, to see what it is. and it says to me that this is just the regex syntax for the open parent, which is good. Okay, so lispy kill at point, control comma. This will kill the current list. So see what it does. If I want to kill the cond, so this is in case if I want to kill something quickly without moving to special. I could have done something similar like lispy backward and control D, and of course control D doesn't kill, so it just deletes. So I would need to press N to copy and then control D to delete. So this is faster. And control meta comma will just mark this expression instead of killing. So let's see how it works. Yep, good. So now we have comments for insertion, lispy parents, braces, brackets, and quotes. Let's see how they work. So here are the parents, here are the braces, here are the brackets, and here are the quotes. So the quotes, I think, are smarter of the other three. So first set of quotes. Now if I say and quote hi, yeah, so it is what it is. Okay, say hi. What else do we have here? Okay, let's move on to the next section, dialect specific navigation. So G will call lispy goto. This command will use a semantic to fetch the tags for the current file and uses Helm just to select the stuff. So lispy down. Yeah, we see there's two commands that match that, and I can quickly navigate up slurp. Okay, so this is the function. One thing to mention here that it will fetch the text not just from the current file, like Helm semantic does. So as you see, Helm semantic looks quite different. It aims to do the same thing, but these kind of things like functions and this kind of separation, I don't really like it. So here's how it looks like in lispy. Okay, this def test is kind of annoying. Let's see, def test. So first I have to reload this file. Okay, now it works. So this is just a thing from the semantic that the custom things like def test, the file has to be open in order for it to parse. So what kind of structures we have require? We have a function call, we have a def test, we have a def var, we have define minor mode, all these kind of custom things are defined here. Also declare function, require, provide. Okay, good. So we see there's 363 candidates in the current directory, and in the current file I just type a big letter G. Okay. And there's only 263 candidates in this file. So let's switch to test. So I'm using projectile and the letter V for this. So as you see again, this file is in the same directory as lispy was. So there's 363 with G, and with a large G there's only 56. So there's a 56 tags in this file. Okay. So what else do we have? Follow, letter F. This will just go to the definition of the current thing. Okay, so let's okay, so if I have a variable, yeah, and then I can follow it if I mark it. Good. And to go back, I just type dot. Good, let's keep going. Outline navigation. Okay, this is a quite nice one. So as you see here, I have structured it in outlines like this. Yeah, so I will fold and unfold these things like org mode does. So fold, unfold, fold, unfold. and let's unfold everything and then just keep going by the outlines. So this is the feature I like. Okay, basic modification. So we've seen undo already, so undo will just call undo. Lispy move up. What kind of things this can do is move the list up. Yeah, so if I move to inner, let's say that I want to switch these expressions. Yeah, so it works. Then what else do we have? So W and S, they move things up and down. So this is quite intuitive from the, if you played games. And so let's move on to Slurp and Barf. What kind of things they are. So let's just put a Brogan here. Brogan. And slurp in these two defines. So G, G. And let's barf them out. L, lesser, lesser, greater, greater, lesser, lesser. Something I like with this, you cannot really, there's no error or anything like that, so you can just keep going, then just go back, and it still works. So you can be quite confident with these commands, you cannot go wrong. It will always end up in a good state. So it also works from the different side, it will do a different thing. So here I will grow up and grow down. Yeah. Okay, good. So one line and multi-line. Okay, let's try to do that. So O, large O, will put it on one line, and M will put it on multiple lines. So M is kind of ambiguous because you never know where to put the line breaks, so it sometimes will do strange things. But sometimes it can work out. So let's see if I have any. Yeah, let's just keep going. There's many more commands. So C will call clone. And let me just mention that the digit keys also work here. So if I type in 4C, it will clone it 4 times. Yeah. So 2J, 2K. Yeah. Undo. Okay, let's move on to raise. What does raise do? So in the case that we, for instance, I have in this expression a when, and if I want to eliminate it, let's just jump to it, and so I say raise, and now the when expression is eliminated. Let's just find another, say, if expression. Yeah. So I flow, and then this is the condition, and I want to raise something, but there's no list. So let's just mark J raise. So it's 0 now unconditionally. Undo. Let's find maybe another if. Yeah, if region is active, do one thing, do other thing. So let's say that we want to do this thing always. So then just raise. Yeah, done. Okay, good. So what happens with the raise sum? So if I raise this, see the save. I want to eliminate save excursion for some reason. So I call raise, but this guy gets eliminated. So then I call raise sum. It will raise until the end of the list, like this. Okay, good. So convolute. Convolute is a complex operation. Let's see what it does. But luckily it's reversible, so we can just type it again and go back to the same thing. So sometimes it's useful if we have like a nested ifs or something. Yeah, like this. So then we can, okay, now we can swap the if and let. Maybe swap these ifs. Good. So it works. Lispy tab, what kind of things it can do? So this will just comes from indent expression, so it starts with I. So if this expression now was somehow misconfigured, let's just add a bunch of spaces, add the ugly hanging parents and stuff like that. Yeah. So now I call I, and it's all nice again. So it brings the expression into a standard form. So how it works is it doesn't do just a plain regex replace. It actually reads in the expression under condition that we have. Then it uses print1. So it's very robust. So even if I have some kind of comments here, blah blah blah, so this will work. Yep. Let's eliminate the comments. Okay. And also, if the region is active, it changes the function, so it moves to the first thing of the list. So j, let's say j. So it works like this. Okay, and O is lispy other mode. This will change how the function keys work, the arrow keys work. So now let's see how H normally works. So it will do this. Let's go back and then let's see what OH does. So I type O. In the mini buffer there's a hint coming up what kind of things we can use with O. So OH. So it moves the current thing out of the list. And so let's try to move this function inside the other function. So if we can do this with the slurp, but if we don't want to navigate in such a way, so we can just say OK. Yeah. And yeah, so these features you can kind of have to think about it before doing it. So I'm not really sure if I like them, but I put them in anyway. So region related commands. Okay, so M marks, M unmarks, M marks, M unmarks. I, as I said before, it just goes to the first element of the marked thing. So H, I, H, I, H, I. Good. Let's test out the ace jump mode related functions. So first one is Q. So Q will select a character for you to jump to. It'll just jump to a parent. B, Q, A, Q, O, Q, B. So this saves quite a lot of time because ace jump mode, you first have to select the character to jump to, and then it will highlight for you all the characters on your screen. But in this case, it highlights only characters within the current top level form, and the character is already pre-selected. Okay, let's have a look at ace symbol. So A, no one found this because this expression is very small. A. Okay, now it highlights all the symbols. A, Q. Let's try to select region active B. A, F. Let's try to select lispy back to parent. A, T. Okay, so you see how it works. So this might be useful if I want to, say, evaluate some kind of things. Let's say that str, I put it to something. So now it has a value. So a, n, and now I can evaluate with e, just to see what the value of the thing is. Okay, what else? Teleports. So let's say that for some strange reason I want to move this defun into the structuring bind over here. So I say TL, and it becomes the second element of the selected list. I don't know, in some conditions this might be useful. It's a bit faster than just to do like control copy and then a back and then navigate with a Q and then a C and then I do paste. So it's a bit faster than that. It's kind of a situational command as well. So let's say that we want to replace str with something else, like def var const str. Yeah, and then we want to replace one of them. So I say h q. Yeah, like this. So it just calls a symbol and deletes the symbol before doing anything. So ace subword. Okay, let me show you the kind of trick that I like to use. So program buffer sub, no properties, region beginning. So now I clone sub b delete end. done. So if I let's say mark this thing and then I p, so it evolves in the other window and this kind of things. Okay, let's just unmark this, go back to lispy. Many more commands to cover. Okay, eval related. So there's eval and insert. From the other side it does a different thing, it doesn't move the cursor. There's eval in other window, which you've seen before. It moves to the context of the other window and tries to eval. So if I so if I had this, it looks not on this window, not on the current window, but on the other window. So this would be kind of the effect of like doing this. Yeah, but you don't have to do all of it, just press B. Okay. What else? Where have I left off? XE, lispy edebug. That's just a shorthand for what's the default combination? Control U, Control Alt X. That's that calls this thing. So it's just faster. XE. So let's just reevaluate it. We don't want to edebug anything so far, or maybe we do. Let's just go to this function, edebug it, and then say 9j. And so now I am in edebug, and for some reason, if I don't want to be in edebug anymore, I press letter Z, yeah, and it captures the edebug state from before. So if I go like this, so see the arc is 9. So this can be useful sometimes just to preserve the state, and now I can just go through it. So okay, let's so equals arc 0 is of course nil because it's not. So then I can do this and then set the BND. So let's see how this works. Yeah, anyway, let's just keep going. So ace jump mode was covered, eval related covered, code manipulation. Okay, XC, let's see if we can find a const statement. Let's see. So how many branches we have? 1, 2. Oh, only 2 branches. And now I've turned this const statement into an if with a XI. XC turns it back to cont. XI, XC. Let's find another const statement. Okay, this one also doesn't have too many. Okay, this one maybe has more statements. XI, XC. So I've put some testing into this, and it should be quite consistent. Also, if you have some kind of comments, this will process them as well. Okay, revert. What else do we have? Lispy to lambda, XL, just turns the current defun into the lambda. That's sometimes useful. And let's find a lambda and turn it into a defun. So let's say multiply xx and then make a list here. Yep. So this is how it is, and let's say that we want to extract this lambda, so we go like this and say xd function name it square. Yep. Okay, that the region didn't have to be active, so let's try that again. Square. Yep. And then just paste the square inside, and I've extracted the lambda. Some little transformation here. Okay, let's have a look at some function called lispy flatten. That's an interesting one. So when foo bar, let's flatten this. So you see how when is defined. It's actually macro. So what it flatten does is just takes the arguments. So the arguments of when is foo and bar, and body of one is found when we do a follow. This is the body, list if con blah blah blah. and then substitutes the arguments for the body, just to see how the function is. So this can be useful in a variety of ways. Let's just say square 10. Eval this square, not eval. Okay, 100. Let's flatten it. Ah, 10 times 10. Pretty cool, right? Okay, now if I want less noise when I'm editing some function, I can narrow it, and I can widen it, and I can narrow it and widen it. This might be useful, for instance, if I want to replace the arg with something else, like say arg123. This is iEdit that I'm using. Now I think there's a binding called mi for iEdit. Now I don't want to replace the arg in all the source code if I just want to do it in this one single function, so the narrowing is quite useful. And so widen works from anywhere. Miscellaneous commands. B, small b and large b. Okay, let's try to compare lispy forward. B store, backward b a diff. So first we store the bounds of the thing and point, and when you call a large b, it calls the diff with the current bounds and previously stored bounds. So then I can compare two functions. So this is quite useful because I can call like a diff on same buffer. So this can be useful sometimes if I want to do a comparison. Okay, so demo. What else do we have? Aha, inline heads. So this is kind of a functionality of LDoc copied here. So instead of doing this kind of thing, I can get it inline like this. Or I can get the arguments inline like this. So the arguments look prettified. If it's in italic, means optional. So yeah. So instead of getting arguments in the echo area like LDoc does, I can get them when I want them, only sometimes. So let's finish up for now. There's still a few features to cover, a few tricks to show, but basically this is it. This is just a bunch of functions tied together with a key binding method that makes you use smaller shortcuts, not like paredit does, but it still performs the functionality of paredit. So thanks for watching, and I hope you will consider using this package. And you can see the documentation here, and just if you have some problem with the code, you can post an issue on the GitHub page. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.